I've seen Trump, I've seen Biden, I've seen no effect. So at this point, it's a little bit of a guessing game, honestly.
Yeah.
So you're voting RFK, it sounds like.
I'm an anyone but Trump guy. And so anything I'm going to do is going to be to try and minimize the chance of Trump winning, because I think if Trump gets back in, it's a catastrophe, genuinely.
Do you think he's going to win, though?
I think the election's held today, he probably wins.
Wow. There's a soundbite.
It's funny. I mean, I just, first time he won, I didn't really believe he was going to win, but I remember being on the road. I remember being on the road enough, seeing people that really loved him, being like, I mean, people fucking love him.
Yeah.
You said like road comics, we see the country. I'd talk to people and I'd be like, wow, they fucking, Phoenix, these people love him.
You talk about the cops, cops seem to love him. So he's resonating for sure.
Yeah, I can give you the math case as to why I think he would win right now. But
Michigan?
Only 6 states are going to matter.
Yeah.
It's Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking about your type of those states. But if you look at the numbers in those states, Trump is up in all of them right now, except for Pennsylvania, which is a toss-up. And some of them...
Well, Biden's got history there, you know.
And some of them Trump's up significantly in. He's up by 8 in one poll I saw in Michigan, 8 in one poll I saw in Georgia. So you look at that landscape right now, and Trump probably wins today. And so the question is, does that change between now and November? Joe's going to have a lot of money as a financial advantage. Does the money move voters in those states? The problem is that most people have made up their minds. About 7% of voters are genuine swing voters. And there are a bunch of people in that 7% who voted for Trump and then Biden. And then now they're like, oh, what am I going to do?
Oh, interesting.
And so those are the voters, but only in those 6 states. Where we are right now, is essentially irrelevant.
Well, the left is in a weird spot because I feel like they're really zoning in on Trump with like the court stuff and the fees and maybe going to jail. But then they'll do like a trans visibility day, and I think that hurts them.
On Easter.
And I think...
but hasn't that been around forever?
Trans visibility
day? Hasn't that been around for years?
Yeah. It's just, it ordinarily just doesn't fall on Easter.
Well, stuff like that, people go, and I don't give a shit either way, whatever the hell, I don't care, but I'm like, that's going to hurt them. So stuff like that, I'm like, where it's an election year, man. If you're trying to win, maybe don't do that.
You want them to change the calendar?
Well, don't do it on Easter, I'm saying. Do it on the day after Easter.
I mean, to me, these issues are so fucking insignificant.
I agree. I'm talking about the people.
Yeah.
I think 7%. That pissed off a lot of people.
If you could sway half of that 7%, you can win an election.
That's what I'm saying. Like those little things add up, and he's had other stuff like that. And it's like, hey, here he goes again. Well, that's, I'm from Louisiana. I hear this shit.
And going full circle, you know who I think speaks to that 7%? Comedians. Genuinely.
Hey, don't put us on. We're nobody. Yeah. We're not important. We're idiots.
I think it's the first time we've ever talked politics on the podcast.
I think right.
We try to stay apolitical here, so I apologize.
For good reason. But one thing I'm saying, so, it's politics, blah, blah, blah. Like, in my mind now, it's more about, do you believe in institutions or not? And what happens is a lot of people who do not believe in institutions actually believe in their favorite comic. They like them. They want to show up for them. I mean, I see this for different.
But don't you think it's a problem, like when you watch late night and every single late night host is doing the same jokes with the same point of view, and I think there's a need for escapist comedy too.
Definitely.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and a lot of that stuff happens on the road and on YouTube. So that's one of the things. It's like you're the institutions. The institutions include, frankly, the media networks where the talk shows you're talking about are on every night. Yeah. And then there's this whole other universe, and I think a lot of the folks we're talking about in the 7% do not listen to TV network A, B, and C. They're listening to podcasts and everything else. Like you're a podcaster, whomever. By the way, that's how I came up too, because I'm running for president. It's 2019. Cable networks essentially want nothing to do with me. So how did I come up? It was Rogan. It was Sam Harris. It was different podcasts. And then I became a big enough a thing where then networks were like, okay, let's have this guy on. He's talking about